OMG Barbz, we are here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you don't already know, Nicki Minaj is covering December 2023's issue of Vogue magazine, Vogue US. This is a big and historic moment in her career ahead of her fifth studio album, Pink Friday 2. So today, what I want to do in this video is go through what she did for her interview with 73 questions, and then I'm going to do a follow-up video on the actual Vogue cover and the article. Okay, so for now, thank you so much for being here. Click on this video and sit back and relax, and make sure you guys watch to the end, because in all of my content about Nicki, and specifically in this video, I don't want to talk about things that we already know about Nicki. I want to use every opportunity, every interview that Nicki does to discover what's new about her that we don't know. And that's the conversations that we're going to have here. So let's get into the Vogue 73 questions, and, just like figure out what's new about Nicki, right? That we didn't know before. So this interview takes place in her Malibu home and recording studio. And so this is where she recorded the video to Red Ruby, the Sleaze. And so this is the first room that we saw in her studio, which doesn't like look like anything that I thought Nicki would record in. It feels so like formal, and such like an orchestra is there. So yeah, I love this picture of her, or this is a still shot that I took from the video. So when you go out into the, like, I guess, I don't know, the porch area, you can see like this house overlooks the ocean. And then, there's like a bed, and the whole setting where she recorded the Red Ruby video. And then it also looked like where Dochi was once posted up on one of the couches over there. And so let's talk about her creative process, what we kind of know a little bit of already. So she said, I listen to the beat, I get a vibe. When it's something that I love, I get on the mic. Juice records her, and she lays some ideas down, and then they go into the next room and listen to them. And then she writes based on whatever reference that she loves the most. And then she records whatever she wrote, and then they listen back to it for days, months, and sometimes even years. And then it comes out. And so years, like, we've been listening or hearing, Nicki has been playing for us a lot of music, that she's had in the vault for years. And so she makes it clear that she records in both rooms, and she uses the second room, which I don't have pictured here. She uses that room to listen back to the music that she's created. So they asked her what inspired the name of Pink Friday 2, and she said the feeling of full circleness. And so they asked about the same question, but for the original Pink Friday album. And so she said she wanted a name to represent her favorite color, pink, and a member of her team recommended Pink Friday. That's something that I didn't really know before. So then they said how to describe Pink Friday 2 in a single word or idea. And this is where I'm confused. Okay. So like she says this word vitamins and vitmol. I don't know how you write that. Like, I don't know how to type that out. Or if you guys know what that means or what that word is, please put it in the comments. I need help. So then they asked about like her inspirations, and we already know Nicki is inspired by Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, Lauryn Hill, Lil Wayne. And then so they asked her like, where do you go for advice? And she says, I go to my spiritual friends and anyone who can speak with deeper meaning. She says that her favorite feature is If I Ruled the World by Nas and Lauryn Hill, and that the song Hello by Adele makes her cry. Her favorite memory from Trinidad is of her grandmother, and then the smell of New York City is what she loves the most. She says that she first realized her love for entertaining and performing around the age of 5. And then so they asked her, when was the first time you heard your own voice on the radio? And she says that when she was working at Red Lobster around 17 years ago. And she says the worst part of working at Red Lobster was having to constantly wash her clothes because of smelling like Red Lobster. And so they asked her what performances like is she most nervous about. And so she said, I was most nervous about all televised performances in her early career. She says that The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the album that changed her life, and that she recited the first rap that she wrote at 12 years old, and that was cute. Some jobs that she had before waitressing was customer service, or I'm sorry, some jobs that she had before getting signed as a rapper was waitressing, customer service, being a telemarketer, a receptionist. She sold fire extinguishers, which is something I didn't know, but she loved being an office manager the most. Now, they asked her accent do you feel like you nailed, but not really? So I thought she was gonna say like the English accent, but she ended up saying the Jamaican accent, but she's learning that she did not nail it or she can't do it well. And I'm just like, for real, Nicki, like I think she does the Jamaican accent pretty well. And even up to like a couple days ago, Nicki was still tweeting in patois. Okay. If you're still here, please like the video. Yeah, let's keep going. So then she says, "Follow me to the house." So now I'm thinking we're gonna go into the house because she's like, "Do you want a drink?" And I'm thinking that we're gonna go see inside the house, like a little bit of what it looks like. And of course, I don't think that this is Nikki's like primary home, right? We know that Nikki lives in Los Angeles, California, Beverly Hills or Hidden Hills, wherever like the super rich people live, but this is Malibu, right? So this is another city in California. So I'm thinking that we were going to see a little bit more of it, but we didn't really see. We only saw the two recording studios as well as like just the outside area. So then they proceed to ask her and so this is like something that I want to know. Like this is going to be one of my questions for you guys. I want to know, especially in interviews like this, what more questions do you have for Nikki? What more do you want to know about her? So they ask, when did alter egos first start to come out in her music? So she says, five-star chick with Yo Gotti and bedrock with Young Money. Very interesting. So she describes her alter egos in one word, and she says that Red Ruby is her favorite alter ego right now, but she acknowledges Roman as the favorite amongst the Barb community. And this is something that I can totally agree with. I'm choosing Red Ruby a lot right now, even though we've only seen her once in Red Ruby the Sleaze in that one song. I still feel like there's way more to Red Ruby than we're seeing on the surface. And I know that hopefully we're gonna see more of her on the album. And for me, Red Ruby is just like a combination of all of Nicki's alter ego, specifically like Queen Sleaze and like a little bit of Roman, but a little bit of Barbie and a little bit of Nicki and all of that stuff. So I feel like Red Ruby is a very, very powerful character that we have yet to see. So, she talked about looking up to a specific era of hip hop culture where the image of Salt and Pepper was cemented into her psyche. So, I guess the question was like, what style influenced you? Some stuff like that in terms of fashion. So then she says it's why till this day that she's still in love with bamboo earrings and that she had them in her Fendi prints online, but she also had them in her recent merch collection for Red Ruby that was released around February, March of this year. Did anybody get those earrings? Red ruby earrings? Let me know. So they asked her, "What is the secret to the perfect cat eye?" So she says, "You can't be nervous, you can't be late, and you have to be very calm." Calm. She says, "Think angle and sharp." Now, this is very important to me as somebody who loves Nikki's cat eye. That is my favorite part of her makeup, and it's also my favorite part of my makeup. So she says, they asked, "What is the most rewarding part of being a mom?" And she says that I was able to love on a whole nother level. And they asked her the question that they always asked her is, how is being a mom affecting her recording process? And just the short answer is like, she's now doing a balance of what feels like Nicki Minaj, but does it make her ick? So she's giving us the best of both worlds. So some different names for Papa Bear were Bubba while in her stomach, and when he came out, it transformed into Papa Bear and she can't really explain that. Now, they also asked like what is can you give us a hint as to what his name actually is? And she's like, "Yes, I can," but then she actually doesn't, which is we knew that was going to happen. So his favorite thing to do, Papa Bear's favorite thing to do is swim or just play in water in general. So Nikki's like kind of cements the fact that she has different voices for him, but that's going to stay between her and him. I don't think it's something that we'll ever hear because they asked like, will we ever hear that on the new record or the new album? So then I think this is a quote by Lauryn Hill that she used in her high school yearbook. And it's the quote is, "To survive is to stay alive in the face of opposition." So another question was like feeling she's talked about feeling guilty for being famous. And so they asked her, like, how do you deal with that feeling? And so she says, by focusing on positive and love energy and learning how to love myself enough to know that I put in my blood, sweat, and tears to realize that I deserve it and it's okay. So they asked her, when was the last time that she was terrified? And so she says, recently when she was staying in a hotel with Papa Bear and he ran out of the hotel door in the hallway as if it was just another part of the house and she was terrified for just a couple moments. And that totally makes sense. So then they said, "What makes zero sense to you?" And she's like, thinking that you can go against the Barbz and win. She says that the biggest misconception about her is that she's mean, which I totally agree. And then they asked her, "What do you have left to prove?" And she says, "If it was all worth it." And then she says, what's next for her in the next 10 years? And she says hundreds of billions and being able to help the people she thinks that need. So that is what I found most interesting from her interview with Vogue. I want to know what you guys found most interesting, what you didn't know, what you already knew. If you made it to this part of the video, please comment 73 for 73 questions of Vogue. And I'm so happy that Nicki's given us this new content. I love digging into her interviews. So I'm gonna go and dig into that actual Vogue article from the cover, and then I'll come back with some more takeaways from that. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and please like the video, and also please subscribe and add this playlist, the bArBoLoGiE playlist, to your library so that you get notified as soon as I drop the next video on Vogue. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening.